Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a bit of Dauntless action. So obviously I'm going to be at Gamescom this week, so I figured I'd record some stuff in advance to keep you guys entertained with some Dauntless if you guys don't have access to the game just yet. The Founders Alpha began on the 18th of August. It's going to run through until the 30th of August, I believe, and then on the 1st of September or something along those lines, the closed alpha, or is it closed beta, begins for those who purchased the Slayers pack, which are the different tiers that Dauntless is offering for people who want to get early access. So, in this video, we're going to be facing off against one of the first monsters in the game, which is the Gnasher. Now, I'm going to be using the weapons Chain Blades, which are a set of weapons that I don't use all that much, but I wanted to showcase all of these weapons in this series of videos. So I figured I'd start with the Chain Blades, which is probably the weapon that I'm the least comfortable with. Now, these weapons excel when it comes to mobility and sustained damage, so pretty much DPS. They will be able to sustain damage on the monster because of the fact that they can stretch out to hit the monster even when the monster is like enraged and stuff. You can hit him from a safe distance, and at the same time when the monster gets downed or staggered, you can actually go in and punish him with a very strong attack. Now, every hunt will usually begin with a bit of a light gathering. Most hunters will do that, and here I'm also looking around the beautiful scenery. You guys can actually see a little bit of the Aurora Borealis. I'm sorry that I didn't focus on it that much because one of our fellow Slayers here has actually triggered his flare, and the flare is usually the universal sign in Dauntless that someone has found the monster. There is actually no map to the Shattered Isles, so the flare is kind of like your only means of communication other than chat. So players, usually the way that players have been using the flare is like, hey, I found a monster. Like here, I see the monster as well, I shoot my flare. And this is usually a good idea to shoot your flare as soon as you see the monster. Don't just go in and start attacking the monster, because sometimes other Slayers might be out gathering materials. They might not be aware of the fact that you've ran into the monster. So you want to make sure that you shoot up your flare a couple of times to alert the other Slayers. And only when everybody is around, you should actually engage. However, since this is the Gnasher, he is a fairly weak monster, I decided to go ahead and engage. As you can see, the playstyle on the Chain Blades is extremely fast. It also has that pull ability that I use there to close the gap between me and the Gnasher. I'm going to get hit because I'm not... for starters, I only started playing the game like a day ago. And to be completely honest, I'm not super familiar with this weapon. You can see that the dodges are actually quite spectacular because they're faster than the dodges with the other weapons. So this is one of those weapons, get in, deal your damage, get out. So it doesn't have a lot of burst potential. It's all about DPS. The biggest burst you can get out of this is with a specific combo. Now, guys might be wondering what the hell happened there. Well, I use this special ability that the weapon has the same way that it's got a pull ability. It also has an ability that it allows you to dodge backwards if you use it when you're too close to the monster. Now, the problem is that together with the somewhat wonky physics engine triggered me to go back that far away. Now, bear in mind, Dauntless is still in alpha, so you are going to see a lot of glitches and bugs and stuff like that throughout this series of videos. However, I do have to say, the amount of polish we already have in the game for something that's an alpha stage is nothing short of breathtaking. I mean, just look at the beautiful art style, look at the awesome animations that we're getting here, look at the design of the monster, how it animates, how it moves, and just even the isle itself. Everything is just beautiful. And right now, we're fighting this Gnasher. It is nighttime. There's moonlight. There's the light of the moon hitting on the water, reflecting all this stuff. And you can be in these islands at any time. Like, the time at this point in the game is actually random. So you can actually get some sunsets and stuff like that, where the art of the game really, really shines. And I'm super happy that I'm finally able to share gameplay with you guys. Because when I first played the technical alpha and I wasn't able to share it, I was like, oh, let me show it to people. So here you see me start getting into the special combo, which I did a little bit of the special combo there, and there it is. This is like the super wombo combo of the Chain Blades. So this is basically 3 light attacks and then hold heavy attack. And I'm still failing it a little bit. I'm still practicing that combo because, again, I don't play Chain Blades all that much. But it's really good, and you can actually attack from a distance. I believe I'll do that when the Gnasher enrages, because the Gnasher will also enrage, and the enrage is actually telegraphed very well. You can see a green aura around that other player's. That is because he activated his lantern. And you see me now using the ranged attacks because the boss is enraging, and therefore I'm moving away. As the behemoth enrages, I'm just like attacking from the safety of the distance using chain blades. That's a pretty unique ability to the chain blades. Now I saw him hesitate a little bit, went in for the punish. Now you can only do that combo while you have stamina, so it's one of those things that you really have to manage your stamina well if you really want to get a lot out of that particular combo. Now you guys might be wondering, what's the deal with the little blue bar below your stamina gauge? Well, that is how you get to use the push and pull ability that you get from the chain blades, this thing. So every time you use that thing, one of the red squares will get used up, and then as you deal damage to the monster, it will regenerate. Once it fills up, you get another square so that you can do the pull or push away ability again. Now, you can see that little hole on the ground, which is called like an ether fissure. I'm not sure what's the official term for that. But basically, that thing is leaking out ether, and that is what attracts the behemoth. Usually where behemoths are, you will usually find one of these things. Now, you can soak up ether from there, and that will do two things. It will heal you, and it will fill up your lantern. Now, you saw me use the backflip ability there again. It's just we had a couple of frame dips when I was doing that. And we chopped the tail with the ranged attack right there. And here you see me activating my own lantern. Now, as I was saying, soaking up ether from that fissure will give you a little bit of health and also charge up your lantern. When you charge up your lantern, you get to use a special ability. Now, in this case, I'm using an AoE heal, which is the only ability I've used in the game so far. I've actually crafted a more advanced lantern than the basic one you get in the tutorial, specifically with the healing ability, because my playstyle just... I'm still getting adjusted to the game, but there are other lanterns that will like increase your damage and do other things. You do have potions that you can use while you are in the fight, but those are limited. Usually you can only take like 5 with you, so that's why I like having the lantern healing. Also, the lantern healing can also be used on your teammates. They also benefit from that AoE healing happening there, so that's always nice. Now you guys see that without his tail, he is not as menacing as before. You can see the telltale size is getting tired. As he's getting tired, he's also going to lose his enrage, and we're just like jumping in on him, ganking him, punishing him super hard. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the Gnasher, and if I'm not mistaken, he is about to go down, because we're just like really bringing on the hurt. So this was the Gnasher with the chain blades. You guys can see that there are currently 4 weapons, even though not all of them are featured here. The other players, one of them is using an axe, and then there's another player using chain blades, and another player using hammer. So we took him down. I'm going to do a quick cheer, and then I'm going to plop down my standard. So the standards is one of those things that is customizable. You can plant it whenever you want, and these are some of the materials that we've gotten. Some of those materials are from gathering points. Other materials there are from parts of the monster that we broke and whatnot. Here you can see the MVP screen, which will indicate who did the highest damage. And then you can see a couple of badges that you get depending on how well you did. Like we got, I believe that's Bastion Gold, Heavy Striker, was it Bronze? I don't know. And Damage Gold as well. And at the end, you also get these cores. So you get these parts based on which parts of the monster you damaged, and then you get a core which has like core materials of the monster, and you open this core up at the base right here at the core cracker, and it will grant you a couple of materials. This is a Gnasher Aether core, therefore it will have materials for the Gnasher. I'm not a huge fan of the whole Aether core thing, but ultimately, since you do get materials from the monster that you killed, I'm not super against it. And you still do get bonus materials on whether or not, depending on whether or not you break tails, you break parts of the monster, so it's pretty cool. That was the Gnasher. Those were the chain blades. I will have a couple of more videos out soon for you guys so that you guys can keep following up with my Dauntless progress. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button. Helps out a lot. Subscribe if you are new. Leave me all your comments and feedback in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.